it's Romy. Welcome to the YouTube channel Aquarius. Thanks so much for being here if you're new or returning. This is your August 2020 tarot card reading. My readings are general, but they might resonate for you. If they do, please do go ahead and support my work by dropping me a like or a comment. You can also find the extended version of this reading in both the description box and in the comment section below. I'll go ahead and put some links for you there. And you might also enjoy checking out your rising and your moon sign readings also. But let's see what cards are coming up for you in August. Okay, let's take a look at this soul story for the month of August. So we're in Leo season Aquarius, which is in your 7th house of relationships, especially for Aquarius rising. And what I'm picking up is that really this month is set to be affording you the opportunity for a really deep review and a radical transformation of the most important relationships in your life. And I think it's almost this sense of this colliding between the endings and the beginnings, and them all kind of coming into this melting pot, and you having to find a balance and make sense and find a way of being able to hold space for multiple different energies playing themselves out, situations, conversations, narratives. So we open up your reading with a card of Temperance here. Now remember, in Leo season, we're acting from our gut. It's a very instinctive, very raw, animalistic heart energy. And yet you also have Mars moving through Aries, which is activating your 3rd house, which is much more cerebral. It's in your communication house, you know, looking at the way that you think. And so we have a balancing out here of really what's going on between your heart and your head. And I think for some of you, what you're going to be working through is this scenario where you are trying to evolve the most important connections in your life to the next level. And that's going to most importantly include the relationship between you and you, Aquarius, yeah? Because 7th house is that mirror season. It's the way we're dealing with our shadow self. But the card of Temperance comes in and suggests there's some beautiful healing set to come in and support you as you navigate through. And I have this feeling, Aquarius, that it's not so much the healing in terms of what's happened, it's the way in which you've actually internalized that. So whether it's come about as a trauma, or you know, you're looking back and kind of realizing that there are some really ingrained, profound patterns that keep showing up. And this is where the soul work is so important, because what you're doing right now is trying to break free from something. Okay, you're breaking free from something this month that is attracting in the same kind of relationship over and over and over again. A different face, different clothing, but the same scenario. And you know, that's going to be true for those of you who are already in partnerships and marriages, for those of you seeking to find that commitment, also playing out within friendships, within business relationships, and again, the way that you're treating and responding to yourself. And so as we come to terms with what we're being shown, there is this really beautiful opportunity for you to evolve past it and grow from it. Now, we have an Aquarius full moon coming in on the 3rd of the month, which is going to give you an extra boost of power. In your 1st house of self-identity, this moon is also squaring Uranus, so it does have that very revolutionary energy that's coming in. It can be uncomfortable, yeah? It's going to create that sense of you feeling like it's too much. There's an overwhelm there. And it's almost this tug, this push between who you were and who you want to be, or who you're already becoming. Like we said, this colliding of endings and beginnings. Now, the 10 of Wands is suggesting that moment of completion. You are coming to the end of a chapter with something. And, you know, perhaps you're finding it difficult to know what it is that you're supposed to release, what it is that you're supposed to set down. You know, the universe keeps telling you to surrender and let go, and you're like, geez, I've given everything I can. I can't let go any more than I already have. You've stripped so many things away from me. You've removed so many things from my pathway. Like, what's left right now? What is it that's actually here and that I'm supposed to be focusing on? So I think there is that sense of some of you just feeling like enough already. I don't want to keep going through this cycle. There's a tiredness there. But the thing with the Ten of Wands is you're almost there. You've already done so much of the work. And this card of Temperance coming in to just say it's not much more of an adjustment to make. It's not so out there. It's not so beyond your reach. You know, this way of finding a completely new way of being, to awaken to something within yourself that's going to completely transform these relationships and connections in your life. It isn't that far away. Card of the Magician. You have everything that you need to be able to alchemize and completely transform things right now. Now on the 5th, Mercury moves into the sun sign Leo. And then we've got a beautiful new moon in Leo on the 19th. So this solar energy, and together with Mars moving direct in Aries, you are being given the passion, the motivation, the drive, even the frustration, because that can be used in the right way, incredibly progressive, to actually keep going to try and figure out the right way. And almost, I want you to kind of think about that magician energy, that temperance energy is almost like the scientist in the laboratory. It just, it's that kind of flavor of just having to keep trying different approaches, keep trying different ways to finally receive a breakthrough. You are going to receive a breakthrough. And yes, some of the energy that's swirling around this month is a little bit volatile. There is some angry energy, some frustration energy. So that's going to be playing out in different ways. What you might find, and particularly as we're working through 7th house for you Aquarius, is that there's some real outbursts that are coming and being projected towards you from those closest relationships in your life. And the thing is, where there has been a suppression of energy, so whether that's you or another person who have held back, have held in your true feelings, your true motivations, your true agenda, it is set to come to the surface, right? So on the 13th and on the 24th, we have 2 dates to really pay attention to. Mars squaring Pluto on the 13th and Mars squaring Saturn on the 24th. These outbursts of energy will deliver the truth, but they may come out rather unpredictably. So it's important that you just take a check on what your energy is doing and make sure that you are really clear about what your priorities are for this month. Because if you take the time at the beginning to really move in and embody the essence of what temperance and magician is trying to show you and teach you and guide you towards, it's about how you're going to be able to evolve past situations that have held you stuck. If you fight against it with that 10 of Wands, if you're unwilling to let go, to put something down, to see where there's a better solution, a new way. And, really that's what that full moon is going to be so supportive of. It's going to show you that there is a better way of approaching this Aquarius. There is a better way of being. There is a better way of thinking. You have to be open to it though. If you're not, then that unpredictable, volatile energy, which could come from you or it could come from others, is just set to come in and destabilize things a little bit. But here we have 10 of Pentacles, another 10. So again, just showing the strength and the power of what's moving through this season for you, Aquarius, in terms of reaching a really pinnacle point of culmination. And I think with that full moon in your sign, you're really going to feel that. You're going to feel like it's like now or never. That's the sense I get with something, now or never. And again, that Leo energy, that very instinctive rawness. And it may well, come through a very raw emotional energy, but that's going to be wanting to help drive you forward. There's going to be a sense of urgency that's coming in. Now, 10 of Pentacles does suggest that this is about you looking and seeking for ways to find more emotional, financial stability, looking toward family situations, to your soul family, to, the way in which you're taking care of yourself, to how life is mirroring back to you its riches. And again, what we're seeing with that energy of temperance coming in is that perhaps there's some adjustments that we need to make. Perhaps there's some healing that needs to come in to a particular dynamic here. Now, we've got Four of Cups right in the center of your reading here. She's at peace. Yeah, she's at peace, almost protecting herself with these cups energy as she does some incredibly important, deeper soul work right now. And what comes through for me with this particular energy for you this season, Aquarius, is something around managing expectations, okay? I think this is about you managing expectations for yourself, as in, okay, there is work to do and I know where I'm trying to get to, but I don't have to have it happen all at once. Because if I put that kind of a pressure on myself, Ten of Wands, if I take on that sense of responsibility and duty to fix everything, myself and the important people or family or soul family in my life at the same time, I'm just going to end up almost feeling like I can't do any of it. And so then we slip into that almost sense of apathy. There's no point. It's too hard. It's too difficult. I can't do it. And that collision of all of these swirling energies that's coming in August is really meaning that there's so much chaos that's kind of trying to enter into your energy field that you almost just shut down. You almost shut down. Now, for some of you, that might be necessary because actually there's something about just like coming back home and, you know, returning into that source energy to be able to recharge and just kind of make sense. And so if on the external physical environment things are getting just to the point where you can't really see the wood for the trees, understand that this season is going to be delivering those solutions for you, but I fully anticipate that they're going to come not perhaps from the places or the people that you expect them to. This is not a month necessarily where someone else is going to deliver the answer to you, Aquarius. You know, the magician is telling you, you already have the knowledge and the wisdom and the information here. You need to be the scientist in your own life laboratory right now. You need to figure this out, because in doing so, you're going to plant the seeds of the commitment to change that is going to be lasting. If somebody else tells you what to do and how to do it, you'll take it on, and for like a hot minute, it will feel like that was the right way or that was the right thing to do. But because it's not come to you from your connection, it's not going to root as deeply. That's what I feel. So absolutely, you know, you're going to take inspiration and people can give you, you know, good advice and support. I'm not saying otherwise. But the awakening that's going on at the moment, it's so important because it's bringing in this whole new level of understanding that you need in order to let yourself move to the next chapter, the next level. Now here we have the card of the universe. Again, an energy coming in to talk about completion, to talk about the wrapping up of a cycle. You know, she's holding the world in her hands and she's looking toward the energy here of you in this very peaceful Zen-like state, almost waiting for that divine moment to come in. And you know, sometimes we're the main character in the story of our life, right? And everything is very central to the choices and decisions that we're making. And at other times, we are invited or called on through our soul contract to be almost the extras to somebody else's narrative, to be a catalyst for someone else's growth. And I think when we're in seventh house energy and you're, you know, having that mirror season, but it's being projected back to you, you're also playing that role sometimes as well. You know, so understand some of what will be playing out this month is absolutely about your growth, but you will also be taking on that role to help support others as well. And in doing so, you're really going to be finding a new way of being. Now here we have the energy of the Page of Cups. So it's bringing in this beautiful sense of creativity. Creative solutions, I think, are going to be readily available to you. This is helping you to tap in a little bit more, I feel, to that tenderness and that sensitivity. And I think that is going to be important because at times there are harsh moments that are kind of being almost infused into the path as we move through August. And they're there and they've been planted on purpose because they are set to trigger and provide a sense of contrast that's going to help you grow. But at the same time, we need a little bit of an antidote to that. And, I was reading a quote and I looked to try and find it again. And forgive me for not knowing the author of this, but it went along the lines of like, to love someone long term, we have to attend like 1,000 funerals of the people that they used to be. And this really like resonated and made a lot of sense to me as we look to this kind of 7th house energy, because sometimes when you're in relationships, and it's true even of yourself, because you're constantly moving through this death and rebirth energy. Yeah, but also in those key partnerships in your life, whether it's people that you're working with that are soul family friendships, family members, or your partner or your, husband or wife, we're constantly evolving and changing. And sometimes we go through seasons that are much harsher than others. And that person around us can lose sight of who they are. They can lose that inner flame. And so we have to witness, and sometimes from the sidelines in an incredibly painful situation, or we can be the one that's going through that and someone else is kind of standing by, almost feeling disempowered to be able to help or to know what to do. And so this idea of us having to attend like funerals over and over again as people kind of transform and find themselves and go through these shedding cycles can be really challenging and incredibly draining, and almost like, again, 10 of Wands energy, have this sense of like, this is too tough. Like, I don't know how to move this forward. I don't know how to be able to embrace this and still find breath and oxygen for myself. But you do, and you will. And that's such an opportunity within your own contract to understand the ways in which you are allowing giving and receiving of energy, your relationship to divine love, your relationship to embracing your own transformation. So, this idea of managing expectations, both with yourself, but also with the people, the key people in your life. And again, like being able to hold space as perhaps some of their behaviors, some of the words that come forth from them, are difficult to hear or be on the receiving end of. Or, there's opinion that feels really out of alignment with who you thought they were or who you want them to be. Page of Pentacles and Page of Cups here. Now, there's almost like an innocent sincerity, I feel, to the way that you want to approach something. And in some regards, I feel like at times you're hitting a wall with that. And then there's almost this confusion of like, why should it be so difficult? Like, I just want the best for this person, or I just want to do a good job in this area, or the thing that I've created or what I'm moving towards, has heart and integrity and soul to it. And there's just like this beautiful kind of naivety in the best possible way. And you're trying to kind of infuse that into perhaps some energies that are going through bigger transformation, that are a little bit denser, a little bit heavier. And they're maybe rubbing a little bit the wrong way. This is where I'm talking about this, kind of colliding of energies, this swirling pot that sort of feels quite chaotic. And perhaps there's a little bit of confusion that's happening as that plays out. And you're like having to almost find a new approach. What I want to say to you is don't lose this. Don't lose this kind of optimism, this hopefulness, this curiosity as to how do I make this work? How do I find a way forward? Because do you know what? I think this season, this August, is absolutely going to help deliver that for you. You're going to find some answers, Aquarius. Now, if you are looking towards others to step up and to be what you need them to be, I gotta be honest, coming forward with page energies, what I want to say is that there's work to do here. And I don't think that they're quite ready to take on the role that you want them to yet. Okay, I say yet because what I see is a willingness here. I see a willingness to want to change, to want to move forward, to want to step into a new pathway that will help them to evolve. I see them reaching for something. They might not be where you want them to at this exact moment, but something in their own soul contract is determining that they have to be where they are right now. And that's really a tough pill to swallow at times. But honestly, Aquarius, it's going to be one of the lessons that you can take with the deepest sense of gratitude through this season, is that where you allow people to be where they are and don't try to fight and force and push and cajole them and return back to your own strength and your own energy and power, that's where you're going to find your peace. That's where you're going to find your emotional security. That's when you're going to get a positive resolution and outcome that is of your highest good. Now, walking that path of our highest self isn't always easy. It really isn't. And yet, in this reading today, you have this kind of beautiful manifestation that's tangible and real. So actually, as we move into Virgo season, into your 8th house, which is incredibly transformative, right? You have this blessing. Look at the 2 rainbows that are coming in here, but also this direction. You're getting very clear and focused about where you need to be and why, because I feel that actually through this scientific kind of application of the lesson, the karmic understanding of what you're trying to break from a pattern perspective and what you're learning and how you're integrating it is bringing you to this kind of point of really understanding the universe in a new way. And then that's coming into you, it's dropping down into the physical in a very real way. So this means it's going to show up in terms of the relationship gets better. You attract in a person who is different to all of the type of connections you've had in the past. You start to see the material gain that's just waiting in the wings if you've not realized it yet. You start to find the creative solutions that give you a different approach that absolutely shows you this is how it's going to work. This is where I'm meant to be going. You give yourself permission to let go, to put something down, to release the expectation on everybody else, but also on yourself, to let go of that harsh inner critic and to invite in this radical transformation of the relationship. It's powerful. Let's take a look and see how these oracle cards are going to reflect your reading, Aquarius. Okay. Cow Spirit, the miracles are endless. The miracles come through the crack of least resistance. They come from the places you are not going to expect. They come from the complete and absolute surrender and letting go. They come from the choice and the decision to say, I have to fully allow myself to just sit in the space of what is right now, knowing that I'm being absolutely guided to find the complete right balance and harmonizing of this situation for me. The energy of the cow is so gentle though, isn't it? And that gentleness, that serenity being really echoed actually in moments through this reading so beautifully. So even though we have this Mars and Aries, this god of war who's pushing us and driving us and trying to motivate us, and that's absolutely energy you're going to be taking advantage of, Aquarius, there's also going to be times where it's so necessary to just step back and move away from the drama, move away from where people are projecting and trying to figure out their own stuff, and finding some solitude. Yeah, finding some solitude. Now, I love that this has almost like this building here is mirrored, just so we talk about this mirror season of the 7th house. And we have the light coming from the full moon. We also have this street light here and almost the light in the sky coming down. And even the light being reflected back at you. So this isn't a time of losing yourself, but I almost do feel it's like Spirit opening your eyes and inviting you to look toward the positive aspects, the areas of your life that you can find gratitude. I mean, it does link to number 13, which in the tarot is connected to the card of death, to change, to transformation. You have a ladder here. You're being invited to use it to see up and over the wall. This is you finding yourself in the window and being able to look out to the horizon. The water behind looks more choppy, and yet in front there's more of a stillness here. So regardless of what is moving around you, and there's even a little bit of cloud energy that could even come in front of that window and obscure your view for a moment. But it's just a moment. It's only temporary because everything is changing. So if you have those times through the month where you feel like you're going back or you're not sure how to deal or approach, remember what we said. This is about you working with, healing not what has happened, but the way in which you've internalized it. And sometimes that means that you need to just sit in that space and come to that understanding yourself. But you are being so protected in that moment. The ladder suggests you moving up. You moving up in energy, so you're rising higher. You moving up in terms of your success. You're moving up in terms of your worthiness and your value and the way that you see yourself, in terms of what you are looking to draw in and attract. Saturn, truth. I mean, this is so poignant and applicable really, as, we had that dip into your sign with Saturn. It's now back in Capricorn, but it is going to be moving, back into Aquarius from October onwards and in your sign for the next couple of years. So what you are working with is coming to that absolute truth about who you are, why you're here. And, it can be tough energy to work with, but you're ready for it. You're ready for this opening. You're ready for this awakening. I see you wanting to act more consciously. I see you wanting to find a balance. I see you willing and ready to let go of the observation of all the things that are not working and just trying to move forward and see how you can be better. How you can express better so that you can start to change your world, the relationships that you have, but also into the collective, and really demonstrate that energy out in a new way. It's so accountable. Saturn makes us be accountable. And that's what I see with you this month, actually, Aquarius. I think you're really ready to be showing up in ways that are so much more powerful than you ever have before. There is no flakiness going on here whatsoever. And if you are coming up against an Aquarius who's demonstrating that kind of an energy, then, they're not quite where they need to be, but we can't hold judgment to it. You're absolutely being invited to redirect your energy back towards yourself. I do think because there's such an emphasis with that 7th house energy and that opposing kind of frequency, that you are likely with this Mars energy to come up against some moments that feel tough, that feel like they are asking more of you. But know that it's going to help. It's going to bring about a positivity. The colliding of things is almost like breaking a kind of energy that's been stagnant, and almost just like helping you to breathe in a new way. It's really beautiful. And like we said, I see you really protected here as you focus on what needs to blossom and bloom within you. Aquarius, I hope that's given you a little bit of insight for this season. Thank you so much for tuning in. If it's resonated, please drop me a like and a comment. Let me know how some of this plays out for you through the month. If you'd like to join me for the extended reading, we're going to go ahead and pull some more cards. So this is a general. What I'd invite you to do right now is to just focus upon a question that I might not have answered with what has come up so far. And we'll pull a couple of cards on that so that we can go into it in a little bit more detail through the extended. So just focus on that for me now. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and clarify this main reading now. So let's start with this card of Temperance. Temperance does link into Sagittarius energy, so you might also be dealing with Sagittarius right now. So here we have the card of the Eight of Cups. So emotional situations that we are dealing with, and perhaps where we're needing to move away so that we can step into this vibrancy, this sense of reliance, this accomplishment, to recognize actually everything that we have. King of Wands, okay. It may well be a fire sign that you're dealing with, you know, a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. I'll go into a little bit more detail with that, with the extended. So 10 of Wands bringing in the Queen of Coins, earth sign here, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Perhaps related into work situations here as well for you. 9 of Cups energy coming through. I think it's that, okay, Alchemist is also the Magician, so that's been clarified again. But I think that 9 of Cups, 10 of Wands with the Queen of Coins, there's something about you just hoping and wishing and waiting and just feeling like it's never getting to the point where you want it to, you know. But there's absolutely a suggestion of not giving up, because I just think there's going to be a shift or a change that you're going to make, or you're going to discover, and it comes through that quiet internalization from stepping back. You know that, like, when you lose your keys, or, you know, you put something down and you can't find it, and you'll spend hours and hours and hours looking for it, and then you just put it out of your head, and all of a sudden, like, you see it right in front of you, and it's been there all along. That's kind of the energy that I feel is playing out a little bit for you this month, Aquarius. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles, we have Ace of Cups, beautiful. Okay, 5 of Wands. You know, this energy makes sense a lot for August, as we have a lot of the kind of challenging, argumentative energy that's going to be surfacing, but it's passionate, you know. It doesn't feel, it's not frivolous. Like, what's coming out, you know, it's really coming from the heart. Like, people are really, and even if it's not delivered in the most soothing way, it's really going to help you get to the heart of the matter about where people stand, you know. And that's going to help you make better decisions, you know, about whether situations, people, connections still align with you or not. 8 of Wands, 3 of Swords coming in here. It's going to be really clarifying. 4 of Wands. Universe, yeah, there's a card of Death that we said is really linking into that number 13 there with solitude. It's the change that you're going through. It's uncomfortable. It's like moving through the eye of the needle, but it's going to be so transformative when you allow it. 3 of Coins, it's rich and creative energy, you know. Page of Swords, yeah, look at all this building blocks. That's what I want to say. It's like the building blocks for something really profound for the future. Okay, Page of Cups bringing in the 3 of Cups. There's a sweetness and a tenderness, I think, to the energy here. You know, soul family, gaining support from people around you, knowing that you have to do the work, but there are still people who have your back right now. Queen of Cups with that Page of Coins. Devil energy here, linking in a little bit to Capricorn, and that Saturn energy as well, I feel. So, you know, there's some heavier energies that we're working with, really activating some of your fears, I think. But look at that, your card coming through, Aquarius, the Star, as the antidote. So, you know, there may be conflict, but there's resolution. 2 of Swords coming in here. The Hierophant, beautiful. 6 of Wands. Real card of commitment coming through with the Hierophant. And I think some of you will find that you get the breakthroughs that you're looking for in relationships, you know. Maybe there's a decision to move forward and make something more formal, or to break apart, you know. The kind of engagements and then the filing for divorces in equal measure, you know. Another card of the 10 of Pentacles here. When we start to move later into the month, we're coming into Mars retrograde energy. where there will be a slowing down of all of that kind of driven, motivating energies. And so there's a moment at the beginning of August, particularly from all of this creative expression, and particularly if you're focused on wanting to get things done in your world, around work, around just those tasks, then that's the time to be doing it. Okay, we have 10 of Wands coming in again with that Saturn card. Look, we'll go into this in more detail with the extended if you'd like to join me. The link is in the description box and the comment section, and I look forward to connecting with you there. Otherwise, thanks for supporting the channel and tuning in, Aquarius. I wish you bright blessings for this month of August, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.